Hello, it is Joe. Have a little video mirror time today to get myself handsome at the beginning of the video, keep myself neat and tidy, as much as I can with this beard. This is a pretty ridiculous beard. Uh, Untrimmed, and probably 3 or 4 weeks into it now. Can't remember the last time I shaved, it was probably Gainesville. But everything is perfect. Keeping it is perfect. Shaving it off is perfect. Whatever I choose to do. I want to talk about unguarding your heart. There's a chapter in the David Data book that I'm reading. I can't remember the title. Something about finding God through something. Finding God through sacred sexuality, but he uses a different word. I'm not sure what he says. That being said, it's David Data's Finding God book, and if you want to know what it is, you can Google it. Brr. I'm releasing my obligation that I've put on myself to know things. I don't know if you can hear the wind. This microphone is exceptionally good. These basic Apple microphones are really, really good at blocking out background noise. But it is a blustery day. The day where it's windy and exciting and it's about to rain, but it hasn't. I think it did some before I woke up, but I am in what I call a rain camp, where I have a tarp over my tent. You can see the ridge line of my tent there, and you can see I'm letting my trousers dry off a bit before it starts to rain. Because I wear them when I'm cycling and they get sweaty, it's really important to keep them dry. I have a limited wardrobe, so I have to be very conscientious of all of my clothing. That being said, I think I'm going to hit the laundromat pretty soon. For some reason, early on, I was stressed out and I didn't wash my clothes. I just felt I didn't have the energy to go wash them in the laundromat, and I don't know why that is. I don't know what weird negative I attached to going to the laundromat. It's not that big a deal. It doesn't take that much time. It's a nice place to sit and do some work or play or whatever. But early in this lifestyle, it's something that I just cut out as unnecessary to get myself started. And yeah, it's one of those weird hangers-on of things that don't cost a lot of money, aren't unpleasant, but somehow I resist. Same thing with toothbrushing. I think I've told you I somehow picked up a negative to toothbrushing as a child, and it stays with me. And I lovingly and laughingly just kind of loosen up that tension when I feel it. I almost, through my awareness, expect it to happen. I'm not trying to create the tension by expecting it, but not to be surprised when it happens and be very quick to let it go. I think that's the good thing that we can do with awareness of, we're going to have, what do you call them? Events, callbacks to the past, emotional reactions. But the trick is to just, that again. Just laugh at it, accept it, and not allow it to trigger anything, not spend any time in that place. So, unguarding our heart. I was reading this David Data chapter and really enjoyed the unguarding your heart, because I felt guarded as soon as I saw those words. I recognized unguardedness in myself. Like I said, awareness of your emotional world, acceptance, taking the opportunity to change in the moment to something better, but also accepting that you may be pretty stuck, and that's okay too. But yeah, as I read about how to unguard your heart, of course, to have a better intimate connection with your partner, I started wondering about how to use it in everyday life. That yes, you can, use sex and love to help a partner get over, long-term emotional blockages, or just the regular hurts and short-term traumas that happen in relationships when people, get attached to each other and need each other and then get offended when the other person says or does something that threatens that security. So anyway, that feels good. The wind feels good on my face too. It's really nice to be outside right now in the wind. I think you can see my hair moving in the trees behind me. It's pretty windy. Ooh, and stretching my shoulders. It's always a good one to get good posture. Quick tip, I find myself using my phone with my phone down by my belly button and I'm looking at it like this. And it doesn't take that much energy to hold the phone up a little higher, to hold your arm up higher. Yes, it probably burns another 2 calories or something. And if you do this, you can really get yourself to lock in. I'm right now trying to kind of calibrate my posture so that we're not hunched over all the time. A lot of the activities we do in today's world, in work and even in play, involve hunching in. So that's always something to be aware of. But that's a physical tension. As far as emotional tensions go, I thought about what David was saying. I was like, okay, we can use sex and love to bring laughter and love into the difficult parts of our lives. Ooh, here comes the rain. Let's go inside. All right, I'm back. I don't know if you can see me that well. I think the screen looks pretty light, but there's kind of a green glow in here, isn't there? With my camouflage tarp behind my head. Anyway, as I was just saying, how can we apply the David Data stuff, his ideas, to daily life as solo people? Whether your lover is just off doing something else, maybe at a job or at home or doing whatever they do, or whether you're between lovers, maybe you don't have one right now. Maybe your lover doesn't have the wisdom right now or the energy or the inspiration to heal you, and you need healing. So, as I get myself settled here, I use a little towel as a yoga mat. I don't know if you can see it. There's the corner of it. But I have this little microfiber towel that I like quite a bit, and I use it for many things. Like I said, a little bit of a meditation mat to reduce the number of insects that like to crawl around on me, and also as a towel for many occurrences. If any of you are Douglas Adams fans, you know the value of always having your towel. So, what I'm looking for next is this connection of this using love and sex to open your heart with love, with sexual love. And when you notice yourself doing things, just like me noticing my posture and changing it, when you notice your emotional posture being, scrunched over, hunched over, let's use the same analogy. And when you discover your emotional self doing that, guarding your insides, guarding your heart, all that, as animals, back when we were four-legged creatures, we guarded our tummies. That's where our most sensitive organs were. We don't have ribs down there, so we can flex and turn and move, but also it makes us more vulnerable. So when we became two-legged people, two-legged animals, we stood up, and all of a sudden this part of us that was pretty well guarded, the underbelly, of us as creatures became exposed to the world. And that's something that is innately challenging, I guess, for us, is to open up all of ourselves and not feel that we need to physically protect ourselves or emotionally protect ourselves in those areas. So, yes, hunching over isn't just bad posture because it's like bad for your back, or it's something you shouldn't do, you should get a stand-up desk or whatever. It's not just that. It goes deeper. That particular action has a meaning that goes back into the days before we were fully human. And, hunching over too much for work or play or whatever we do is a physical metaphor for an emotional state. The physical idea of protecting an underbelly is also an emotional protection. And in the book, David Data talks about how people freeze up, how people are very, very rigid physically or icy emotionally, and how a lover can skillfully and lovingly use sex, laughter, love, and openness to heal it. In those cases, a lover who's offering love and receiving a rejection needs to stay open and not allow the pain of that rejection to drive them away or create a fight or anything like that. Being very bold in loving someone despite their rejections and despite their hurt and pain that they're protecting and projecting. So, I wonder about this, and it's something I'm going to try soon, and maybe you can try and let me know. If we can use our own love and sexuality for healing, I'm wondering if at some point in our journey we can change the way that we look at movies, the way that we look at pornography, the way that we look at erotica, of any kind of titillating experience. Even being around people. It can be exciting to be around someone you're attracted to, who might be attracted to you, and it can be exciting to flirt, or at least flirt with those ideas in your head. And everybody feels that, whether they're in a relationship or not. That kind of excitement of being around someone who might or might not be interested in you, and wonder if, something might happen in the future. That can be very pleasurable and arouses us, not completely, but in a certain way. So whatever it is for you, maybe it's physical exercise, maybe it's looking at images on your phone or computer of people, doing crazy sexual acts. Maybe it's looking at a beautiful person. Just hit the wrong button there. I was battening down the hatches, as they say, bringing some laundry in, and I think I hit the wrong button. But like I was saying, I hope you can still hear me, despite the rain on the tarp, which I think is about to get pretty intense. So, that'll be fun and exciting, and I just hope that you can hear me too. Anyway, as far as all of us getting aroused, however you get aroused, whether it's through romantic stories or sexual images, or whatever you do, through physical activity, through fantasies, through interacting with people, whatever you do, that you can control, not something that involves another person. I hesitate to even bring up the idea of flirting with people, because we can't always control whether there's someone there to flirt with. But you get the idea. Whatever you do when you need to feel sexy or sexual or loved or romantic, whatever it is, when you're doing those things, just because they feel good and because our bodies need release at, regular intervals, which vary from person to person, what I'm really curious about is, can we use it for healing our hearts, healing our emotions? When you are looking at an image of someone, can you appreciate their beauty and their love and imagine loving them or being loved by them? If you look in the eyes of an image and imagine that fantasy, can you let it in to unguard your heart? Can you let that energy in to free yourself up, to open yourself more completely, and to let love in? Because we creatures, so they say, are love and consciousness at our very core. And we have the ability to not let love in. From a biological level, you might say that we want to exist in a relaxed feed and breed type of physiology, and that we need a reason or even a religious placebo to let go of our fight and flight, which is also known as fight, flight, and freeze, but let go of our panic and relax and feel good. Perhaps all of the religion and spirituality that we talk about and we can't prove is untrue. Perhaps it's just a placebo for feeling good by using our consciousness to change our physiology to a resting physiology and not to a panic and attack and a hiding from danger physiology. Who knows? I use the techniques to feel good regardless of how they work and why they work, and regardless of any speculation I have about whether or not they're truly magical. What really matters to me is that they work. What really matters to me is feeling better. It's feeling good all the time. That's what I want. That's my goal. And try it. Try short, little 10 or 15 second fantasies and see if feeling loved helps you. I know that a few days ago I spoke about a different David Data technique where he was helping us realize that we could embrace the universe. I think this advice might have been for men, or it may be for everyone. I'm not sure. I know he targets different advice to people who identify as men or women, because those people typically have different emotional makeups. We're all in this kind of spectrum from male to female and masculine to feminine, both physically and emotionally. Some of us show up as men physically and emotionally as women, and sexually as men. Or we show up as female, but emotionally we're male, and then we sexually want to behave as males. That polarity, that spectrum from male to female isn't black and white, and there's a number of different spectra. I can thank my brother for helping me understand the vast diversity that we have in our world in the LGBTQ community. Because, he's devoted himself to, creating healing and dialogue and facilitating diversity. So, anyway, not going to let that tangent take me too far off. I do love my brother, and I could talk about him for a long time. The point is, can we use embracing the universe, regardless of our gender preferences, or maybe there's one that's more suitable for the feminine. Maybe there's a being vulnerable and open to the universe, being penetrated by the wisdom of the universe for those of us who fantasize in that direction. Maybe there's a feminine counterpart to the masculine idea of embracing, loving the universe, feeling the feminine energy of the universe and the world, and feeling ourselves inside of that. So, who knows? But it's fascinating to think that just like that small example of embracing the universe, feeling that love, that hug all over you, from every direction from the universe, or specifically from the front direction, feeling the sensations on the front of your body as a lover. That can also help. Well, heck, if you're dirty, a little kinkier, you might feel the sensations behind you as a lover. It doesn't have to be the front of you, I guess. But what is really interesting to me is using the power of attraction, sexuality, intimacy, love, and connection, regardless of whether you're with a partner. So next time you find yourself indulging in a romance novel or whatever it is, a picture, an image, an audio, or a text file, or whatever it is that you're enjoying, picture yourself not just getting off with or on that person, but the hero of that story in your book. Imagine yourself embracing and being embraced by them. Imagine them opening you up to love and penetrating your defenses and gently and lovingly, being the universal consciousness that enters your love body. Or if you're looking at a picture of someone attractive and using that to release tension, to get off, look at that person not just as a body but as a heart. And imagine yourself connecting with their heart, not just with their physical body. Their, go a little bit beyond just the regular behaviors that we have for romance and self-satisfaction. Go past masturbation or fantasy or comfort seeking or whatever it is, and imagine yourself having a beautiful experience, having a beautiful relationship, having a beautiful connection with someone that heals your heart and opens you to love, not just the romantic love of that person, but also, the universal spirit, source, God, whatever you want to call it, kind of love. So do that for yourself. Practice it. And then when you're with your partner, you'll be ready to go. Feel the healing all the time. Feel your partner or an imaginary partner with you all the time, whether or not they're actually here. Not only will that contribute to the whole law of attraction manifestation thing of really bringing a partner into your life if you don't have one, or opening a better experience with a partner if you have one and want things to be deeper, do it for manifestation reasons, do it for pleasure reasons, but most importantly, do it for healing reasons. Really imagine that healing taking place, and imagine the healing love between you and your partner. Okay, I can hear the rain on the tarp, and it's getting a little loud, so I think I'm going to cut it off here. But I know that it's perfect. I know that all these events in the world, like rain and sun and snow and sky, they all inspire me to new directions and new choices, activities, attitudes, and I know that it's all wonderful and perfect. So, that being said, I will sign off with you guys. Check me out at joeneely.net/ community. Neely is spelled Neely, and the community page on my website connects all of you to everything that I put out, whether it's videos, articles that I write, the Facebook group, all kinds of different ways to connect with me. So, that being said, if you are not my Facebook friend, that's another really good way to get in touch with me and access my experience on a daily basis. So, by all means, make a request. I don't know if you can hear me anymore because it's getting really loud. It is really starting to pour down outside and the wind is going. So I'm going to cut this off. Check me out on Facebook. Be my friend. Let me know who you are if we haven't met yet, and I'll accept you as a friend. So have a wonderful day and enjoy the weather wherever you are. Take it easy. Bye-bye.